Hello everybody, we are going to unlock Tiger in this video. So what are the objectives for it? We have to play as Asana and win against her at level 30. We summon a total of 7 worms against her. Luke gets a fusion summon, a comeback victory, and we inflict 200 points of effect damage in a single activation with Yuga against Tiger. So let's hop on into the unlock duels right away. This one is going to take a while, as you can see from the time bar of the video. But there are a few reasons for why this takes so long. So first of all, in this duel I just want to win, and I get 6 out of 7 worms in. So in preparation for this unlock, I got Asana to level 10, and previously, just this morning, she was at level 1, so I gave her some of the standard duel lists and whatnot to get her to level 10 so that I would be able to get 3 worm type monsters from leveling up Asana. I don't know their names right now, it doesn't matter, we just have some worms, and the other 3 worms that I'm going to summon in this duel are the worm excavator monsters, which make her maximum monster that are added to her deck with the starting skill. So it is not really a big deal to win against her, but it is a big deal to get all of these worm monsters summoned. Also, one thing I should point out is that we do not need to summon all 7 worms in a single duel against Tiger. We can do this in several duels. But I want to get as many of them done right now as possible, so I do this. When I was starting up the game this morning, it was quite difficult to get into the game because they had a maintenance going on. First they said it was till 9:30, then they prolonged it to 10:30 and then to 11:30, and I wouldn't be able to get into the game until 12, so until noon. And when I finally got into the game, I was kind of excited at first because I wanted to unlock the alternative styles for Jag, Yusei, Crow, and Kellen. However, as I found out soon enough, these styles are not available as gate unlocks, as missions, like what we had with Yami Yugi's alternative style, just winning 5 duels and whatnot. It is part of an event to get these styles, and therefore I couldn't make a video on them, which I actually had planned. However, I then saw that Tiger was added to the gate, and that's why I'm getting this video out for you today. Anyways, so drawing into these worms is quite a doozy, and it took a long time to get this done. And I actually had to prolong the duel until I got these, otherwise I would have been able to finish the duel a lot sooner. And as you're going to see in the second duel, which is the Luke duel against her, I have quite a few issues here when it comes to clearing these missions in a quick fashion, because they're kind of difficult. But having said that, we can just play the game here, and I tried to deplete my hand at points to draw into worm monsters faster. And we have a few tribute monsters in here as well. And it kind of sucks here that we have to wait for these 7 worms, or 6 worms rather in this particular instance. If you do not want to level up Asana all that much, by the way, and you do not want to spend any resources on worm type monsters, you could just duel Tia at level 30 one time with Asana, try to summon the 3 parts of the worm excavator, and do the same thing twice more against Tiger at level 10, so that you have 3 duels with Asana against Tiger, and try to summon the worm excavator monsters in all 3 of them. Here we have the deck, and I show you a few of these worm monsters, or actually all the worm monsters that I own at this point, and I'm of course on my newest account, which was the Let's Play account, this my own approach playthrough account. Anyways, so the skill here adds these 3 monsters to my deck, as I said, so that's how I got those out. Well, I got access to those in this duel, I should say. Then, when we go to the character level up screen in just a moment, I can show you that in fact all 3 of these worm monsters that I use, that are not part of the worm excavator, can be obtained by leveling up Asana to level 10, and this actually does not take a long time to accomplish, and you do not even need to do that, as I said. So yeah, it is your choice what you want to do. So let's swap to Luke and then see what the second duel has in store for us. This one, as I said, will take a long time because I kind of messed up early and tried to salvage the situation. So I have to perform a fusion summon, for which I actually use the Gaia structure deck stuff that we get for free. So yeah, that's my normal stuff when it comes to fusion summons. Then I need to summon one more worm type monster, and the most difficult out of these three is getting a comeback win. And honestly, this kind of sucked because unfortunately they didn't have a way to get over my winged dragon guardian of the fortress, which has 1200 defense. So I'm just setting monsters here with low defense points so that they can run over them and I can play more monsters to get through my deck faster, which is the whole thing that I'm going to do right now. And also I hope that she tribute summons a monster that's stronger than my winged dragon, so that I can take some damage. However, this is not going to happen. In this entire duel, the strongest monster she summons is like a 1000 attack point monster, and therefore I kind of messed up. And at this point I was like, okay, maybe she has a monster that's not level 5 or higher in her hand that's stronger than my winged dragon guardian of the fortress's defense points. Like maybe she has like a harpy lady or whatever, and she just cannot summon it because she doesn't have a free monster zone. So maybe I should attack and get a free monster zone for her, and then she may summon it, and then I can switch my winged dragon into a defense position and she can run over it and I take some life point damage. But that never happened. So instead I had to rely on something else, and I was still on this thing with like maybe she has a better monster than that, but she doesn't. And I was kind of contemplating at this point whether or not I should maybe cancel this recording of this duel and basically just finish the duel off and restart the duel with a fresh recording when I'm actually using my brain. But then she summoned that monster, which I do not know its name, but its effect is that it deals effect damage to me when I have face down cards in my spell and trap zones. So I have a few face downs now in my spell and trap zones, and therefore can take some damage, and I have to keep that monster alive until my life points are lower than hers, which will take a few more turns. And her having that specific monster was kind of lucky for me. Usually I do not like that guy, and when I go up against it, when I'm dueling standard duelists, I try to take it out as fast as I can, but here in this particular situation, it was quite nice, and my problem-solving card that I got, actually, or it was her card, but it solved my problem, is what I wanted to say. And then, when my life points were lower than hers, I decided to pop off hard and do my usual stuff and finish this duel off once and for all, to finally get the comeback victory. Also, the worm was summoned and we performed a fusion summon. So it is all fine and dandy, but again it took longer than it should have, just because I didn't use my brain and she didn't have strong monsters in her deck. But hey, it is what it is. Here I'm going to show the deck that I was using with a few worm monsters, and I rebuilt the deck to what it was before I put in these worms. So basically before I started this unlock against unlock duel, against a tiger. So yeah, it's just doing this stuff is not necessary to do this on screen, but here you can see the deck that I'm using, and I think it's important for you to know that you can do this with the most primitive of decks and the most common of cards that you get from just unlocking these characters and maybe leveling up a few of them. So yeah, this leaves one more duel, and that of course will be Yuga playing against a tiger, and I have to duel her at level 10. I do not have to duel her at level 10, but I want to duel her at level 10 because that of course requires the least amount of gate keys here in that situation. And the one objective is that I inflict 200 or more points of effect damage with a single activation, which is a long sentence for just saying activate sparks, dude. So I'm going to do just that. And luckily I got it in my opening hand, basically, or my opening draw. And I can just activate sparks here, already cleared the mission, and now I just have to end this duel. I could give up, or I could let her beat me, or whatever, but I'm trying to finish this duel the old-fashioned way by just winning with my monsters that are stronger than hers. And this is going to be a matter of a few seconds that we have left for the duel to get this done. And yes, 200 effect damage with a single activation is just Sparks, an easily obtainable card, as I'm going to show you in just a moment. But if we had more effect damage to inflict with a single activation, this is not possible from what I know, because Sparks are basically the only way to inflict effect damage in rush duels for all I know. So I'm glad it's just 200 points at once, and therefore, yeah. So Sparks is in a lot of character starting decks, so by unlocking one of these characters you get access to Sparks. And as you've seen in this duel, I actually had 2 copies of Sparks within a few turns. So just a couple of turns and I got 2 Sparks. This means we cleared all the missions for Tiger's unlock, and therefore after claiming these rewards we'll be able to unlock Tiger. And then I thought that Tiger only got one skill added to the card trader's skill exchange function, which was Destiny Draw Music Princess. However, she got another one, which also has Destiny Draw in its name. But I can't recall its actual name right now, but that doesn't matter since we are going to claim both of these skills at once, and they were added when Tiger was added to the gate. Also, Tiger is available, or her missions, I should say, are available at stage 6 in 7th World, just like with most of the other characters, even Yuka, who we just unlocked yesterday in this one video. And you need to have access to the level 30 gate in order to clear these missions. Besides that, it helps if you unlock a few characters, mostly Asana, but for Asana you also need to unlock Nail first, and Nail requires that you unlock Gavin, who actually is a stage 7 character in 7th World, so it is the way of going to stage 7, Gavin, Nail and then Asana to make it to Tiger. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching.